Hey, what's up DIYers? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking Nissan Jukes today. In today's video, the step-by-step process on how to properly and safely replace your rear pads and rotors. Let's go outside and get started.
All right, DIYers, outside of the Nissan Juke, and again, we are going to be replacing the rear brake pads and rotors. We've got the front tires chalked. Leave your e-brake off. What we'll do next, before we lift the car up with the jack and rest it on the jack stand, we are going to loosen the lug nuts, not remove them. We are just going to loosen them. And we do that now for safety purposes, because in the event that you lift this vehicle up and rest it on the jack stand without loosening those first, you are going to be tugging and tugging away to loosen those lug nuts and increase the possibility of your vehicle falling off the jack stand. Not cool. And in our case, the lug nuts are 21 millimeters. And again, just go ahead and loosen them. All 5 lug nuts have been loosened. And as far as the placement for the jack, underneath the car, you will see 2 little notches right here, and that is your reinforced jack point. And what I like to do is place a piece of wood in between this portion of the jack and the actual lower frame. As you can see, my placement of the jack stand is right on that reinforced weld or point. And never rely on a jack. Always rest your vehicle on a jack stand when you are doing some friendly maintenance on it. From here, we will remove the tire. And again, since we already loosened these lug nuts, they should come off very easily. Tire is now removed on the back side. We are going to begin removing these 9/16 bolts that basically slide into the caliper bracket. And if yours is like ours, this little brake line right here, you do not want to damage it. And because of its placement, we can't get a socket in here. So here it is, the wrench, and carefully loosen up these 9/16 bolts. Well, that wasn't bad. And as you remove these, your caliper slides are slightly different. You want to make sure the top one goes back in the top and the bottom one goes in the bottom hole. And the bottom one I could get the socket on, which made it a little easier. That just pulls right out. And again, this is the bottom one. Make sure you set them in a placement where you won't forget which one goes in which hole. And a quick update, this brake line is not giving me the clearance to be able to slide this slide bolt out, so I'm going to loosen up the additional caliper bracket bolts, one on top, one on bottom, and these are 17 millimeters. And unfortunately, they're awfully tight, so I'm going to spray them with some PB Blaster and wait about 20 minutes. I'll do both the top and lower bolts. And DIYers, these larger 17 millimeter bolts are tough to get. I had to grab the impact. And once I broke them free with that impact, I can use the socket and ratchet to carefully remove these 17 millimeter bolts. After removing those bolts, you can carefully shift this entire bracket or caliper off the rotor. And from here, we will carefully shift it up and rest it in a position to not harm that rubber brake line. Do not let this hang from that line. And here's how I did that. Again, you do not want that caliper hanging from that rubber line. And I grabbed a rubber mallet. In most cases, this rotor will be seized to the hub, and you will need to use a rubber mallet to release it. And that came off pretty nicely. And as you pull this off, do your best not to damage any of the thread on the lug nut studs. And we'll set that aside. And that's what the inner workings looks like. And what's important to know from here, the old rotor has a rubber insert. We are going to pull that out. That is the access hole to this right here, and that is how you adjust your emergency brake. So when we put the new rotor on, we want to make sure that hole is perfectly lined up with that adjustment. Here's our new rotor inside the packaging, and that actual rotor has an oil-based or rust repellent additive to it to alleviate rust as it sits on the shelf. And in the event that we do not wipe that clean with this brake cleaner, the first couple times you apply your brakes, you are going to smell a very awful burning odor, which will be alarming. So we might as well just clean it off. When it comes time to spray, basically just spray the outer portion where the brake pads are going to go. And what we'll do from here is wipe that clean. And that's all you want to do on this side. We'll flip it over, and we're going to do this entire surface as well as the inside. That's where your emergency brake makes contact with the inner rotor. So you definitely want that cleaned up. Back to the hub, and prior to putting on that new rotor, I'm going to clean out the dust plate. And you want to be able to rotate it smoothly with one hand. Next, what we'll do, come to the old rotor and pop out that little rubber insert, come down below and push up on it. Should pop right up. Install that on the new rotor. as shown there. Now it's time to address the brake pads. And again, I've got that lower caliper slide removed, and I can basically just shift this up as I've got the upper one loosened up, but again, I don't have the clearance to pull it out. I'm going to shift this up, and just by shifting it up, I can now have just a little increased clearance to remove that. It doesn't look like it here, but I'm gonna set the camera down and remove it. Quick update, better yet, I'm just going to leave it like that. And when it comes time to put everything back together, I'm going to grease that, align it properly, and shift it in. From here, we can rotate this down here and take note of how they are positioned. You've got a wear clip on the back side, and when installing the new pads, you must put the wear clip on the rear. And these should just shift right out, as shown here. Both pads are out, and here are the new brake pads. We got the Duralast Gold, the ceramic ones, and they should come with new clips. Let's go ahead and open this. And yep, here are the new clips. Go ahead and remove these clips. And those are pretty worn out. After investigating the packet of new clips, 4 are larger than the other 4. Now in our case, we have a 2-wheel drive, we have the smaller ones, and the all-wheel drive, I believe, use the larger ones. In either case, match up your old clips to the new clips and use the exact same size. Old clips are out, new clips are in. That is what they are supposed to look like. The new pads out, what I did was I went ahead and greased the edges there with the little tabs that shift into the brackets. And again, the one with the tab will go on the rear. And here's what it is supposed to look like. Again, the caliper boots on the top and to the right. And the position of the pads are arched at the top. And the anti-rattle clips are on the outer portion. And this might be the tricky part of the project, but really not. If you have a C-clamp, that's perfect. That little inner piston right there, we have to compress it back in and flush with this rubber boot here. And what I've done was I placed a C-clamp on the piston, and on the back side, I've got it on the bolt here. And as you can see, way back there is my handle, and I'm going to turn it clockwise. And as I turn it, it will compress that piston back in, and that will allow us to get the brake pads back on and be able to shift it on to the rotor. Piston is now completely flush, and from here what we are going to do is lubricate these slides. I've wiped them clean, and I'm going to apply this brake lubricant to them. And the bottom slide has a plastic cap on it. So again, do not mix these up in the event that you take them both off. And again, all I did was applied some grease, and I'm going to rub this all around, really lubricate this inner slide so it can shift back and forth very efficiently. Caliper is now repositioned on the rotor, and I added anti-seize to these large 17mm bolts to make it easier to come out next time I replace everything. I'll just slide these in and secure them. 17mm bolts are secured. Last thing I'm going to do is reinsert this lower caliper slide, line it up properly, and slide it all the way in. And screw it tight. Do your best not to cross thread this, that would not be good. And once everything is secured, both the 17mm bolts and these caliper slides, you should still have a little bit of play inside this portion right here. Just like that. Now it's time to put the tire back on. All right, DIYers, the passenger rear is complete. We're gonna hop to the other side and complete the driver's side rear. And basically it's the same steps, just different side. And with that said, we're not gonna bore you with that process. Again, basically the exact same, just different side. All right, DIYers, the driver's side is complete. And from here, take it for a test drive and test your e-brake. And before even moving the car, what we recommend is pumping the brake about 3 to 5 times just to properly set those new pads. And that is it. Hopefully this helps. DIYers, from here, do us a favor, below the video you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching.